The government of the people, by the people, for the people. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to those watching. Our group will be demonstrating how the democratic system works. Let's start with the basics, shall we? Democracy is a system of government in which laws, policies, leadership, and major undertakings of a state or other polity are directly or indirectly decided by the people. It is based on the principle of majority rule, meaning the rule that the majority choose will prevail and represent the nation. In democratic countries, the candidates will throw campaigns and charitable events to win the hearts of the people. During elections, the citizens will elect those they believe are best to decide and represent on their behalf. Moving on, there are two types of democracy, which are direct democracy and indirect democracy. In a direct democracy, all citizens can participate in making public decisions. Meanwhile, in an indirect democracy, citizens elect their representatives to make laws and public policies on their behalf. Some examples of countries who practice democracy are Malaysia, United Kingdom, United States, and Australia.
Now let's further demonstrate how democracy works by forming our own mock government. Now let's say we have a whole new country called Narnia. Narnia practices an indirect type of democracy whereby its people are allowed to elect their own state representatives, known as the heads of states, to make public policies and laws on their behalf. We can say that the government of Narnia practices democracy because general elections are held once every 6 years. Like I've mentioned before, general elections are where the people of Narnia elect their state representatives. The laws of Narnia does not require its people to vote. However, it is a very prominent part of democracy. Through voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process. Citizens are to vote for their leaders that represent them and their ideas, and these leaders are to support the citizens' interests. I'll remind you that elections are a very important symbol when it comes to the system of democracy. The people's opinions will be voiced out to the government through the representatives that they have elected. And these elected heads of states will then carry out their roles and functions as the executive branch in the government of Narnia. My groupmates will further elaborate on the executive, the legislature, and the judicial branch, as well as the structure of the government after this.
It is important for a government to have rule of law, elections, and also organized oppositions. And in our own government, for the rule of law, it is basically the same with Malaysia, where no one shall be above the law. And this is also applied in our country, where no one shall be above the law. In Malaysia, the supreme law is the federal constitutions, but in our own government, it is called as Supreme Law of Narnia. And for the elections, there are 10 states in our own country, and the public will vote for the 10 states, and so there will be candidates from each state that will vote it to be the head of state. So there will be 10 head of state that will be chosen by the public. And from there, the senates, or also known as the House of Round Table, they will choose the best head of states to be the heads of nation, also known in our country as the heads of Narnia. The head of states that chosen by the public will be the candidate to be the head of Narnia.
We will give you some time to process that.
And for the organized oppositions, as I said before, will vote few candidates to be the head of states. So those who did not get to be the head of state is usually the organized oppositions for our country.
Two more characteristics of a democratic government is independent judiciary and civil liberties. Civil liberties are the guarantees and freedoms that a democratic government commit not to abridge, either by legislation or judicial interpretation. In the country of Narnia, the civil liberties are implemented. One of it is the liberty of a person. A person is born in equal rights and also free in dignity. Next is that in Narnia, slavery and servitude are all prohibited. Any types of slave trade in all forms are also prohibited. Other than that, people of Narnia can also have the rights to freedom of speech association, and also assembly. This means that the people of Narnia can express their views freely and without any restriction, can create associations and also make assemblies as long as it doesn't disrupt the public order. In addition to freedom of speech, we also have the freedom of religion. This means that the citizens of Narnia can profess and also practice their respective religion and also propagate them accordingly, as long as it does not disrupt the public order. Last but not least, the people of Narnia are given the rights to appropriate education on any educational institution in Narnia based on their qualifications. Next on the characteristics of a democratic government is independent judiciary. An independent judiciary is a judiciary that does not subjected to the improper influences from the other branches of the government and also does not satisfy any private interests. The Court of Round Table is the Supreme Court of Narnia, and they also handle the disputes between the states and also have the appellate jurisdiction on criminal and civil matters from the Court of Appealment and also from the High Court. The second court in the hierarchy of the court system is the Court of Appealment. The Court of Appealment have the appellate jurisdiction on the matters of criminal and also civil cases from the High Court. The third and the last court in the hierarchy of the court system is the High Court. The High Court have an unlimited jurisdiction on every criminal and also civil cases over their citizens on their permanent residence.
I will now be discussing about the processes and stages of policy and lawmaking in democracy. First of all, we need to be able to differentiate between laws and policies. Policies is an outline for government's goals. It is what the government seeks to achieve in its term of administration, whereas laws are formed by principles and procedures. In other words, it sets out the standards to enforce the policies. It consists of a few steps that may differ from one country to another, but the concept is more or less the same for countries that practices democracies around the world. Moving on to the stage of policy making. First, the elected government will, of course, as we discussed, set out its policies, whether to create new policies or to change the old one for the benefit of its country. Normally, during this stage, the relevant ministry in the government will discuss in details with experts the relevant fields regarding policies they are about to introduce. Each tiniest details of a policy will be thoroughly taught, so that when presented in the parliament, everything will be laid out crystal clear to its members. This is one of the ways to convince that the policy proposed is applicable and coherent, whereby it highlights the need to approve the law to accommodate the policy presented. In Malaysia, it is best known as pre-parliamentary stage, consists of proposal, consultation and drafting. Next, the stages of passing a bill to become the law. Even though the passing of a bill is different for countries that practices democracies, the same tedious method applies. This is due to the importance of laws passed being applicable to anyone in any circumstances without violating any other laws, and is beneficial to its citizens as it requires critical evaluation and long sessions of debates and discussion among the members of parliament. Committees from both houses of parliament will be formed in order to review the policies and laws, resolve misunderstanding, make negotiations and find available solutions regarding disputes or problems that may arise from the new policy and law. The last stage of policy and law making is the legislating the subsidiary legislation by the delegated authorities, mainly field experts in relevant ministry and government departments. Moving on, in the government of Narnia, the policy will be introduced by the Council of Narnia, which members consist of the head of states and the head of Narnia. The authority responsible for passing bills as laws in the government of Narnia is the Senate, or in Narnia we call it as the House of Round Tables, where the legislating process will take place among the members. Once the policies are finalized, bills to accommodate the policies will be brought upon the House of Round Table to be approved and enforced as the laws of Narnia.